So today I want to talk about if Crimson Armor is actually worth buying to AFK, because if you saw last time, it didn't really make as much compared to Wither Armor, but it can still make a very significant amount for it to be profitable. So first things cost. Now Crimson Armor is actually really cheap. It's not that bad. Like if I go lowest bid, bin only, we have literally 845k. That's a lot cheaper than I thought. 1.2, so that's already 2 mil. Another 1.2, around 3 mil. And food, 1.3 mil. So about 4, 5-ish mil. That is really cheap. You will literally be able to make that money back in a day. A day of AFKing, and you should have that money back. Now the problem is, you need combat 24, which an early game player cannot really get too fast. They actually have to grind out some stuff first, get some other basic armor sets before they can even touch this armor. But that's the only requirement, which is actually not too bad as well, if I'm correct. Let me go back to Crimson, and let me figure out right here. Requires combat skill 24. So cheap cost, requirement is not too bad, and all you really need is thorns. Thorns and bank. Bank is honestly not that expensive. If I go to ultimate enchantment, it's the cheapest one you can ever get. Right here. If I go to buy instantly, four bank $5 is literally 62,000 coins. It's really cheap. So you should be able to afford this really easily, even as an early game player, because an early game you should honestly prioritize making as much money as possible and leveling up your skills, obviously. So you shouldn't really have that much of a problem. But if you can make it to combat 24, like mid-game-ish, which you should by then you should be okay, actually. You should be able to get not Wither armor. You should be able to get this Crimson armor. You can optimize it however you want. You don't need to have bank if you don't want, but it says you get 2.5 additional coins, so I think that's pretty worth it to me. And this is per piece, so that's pretty significant. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. With the bank bonus and the Dado Sax bonus, as well as the Hound Pet bonus, you're making a good amount of money just from killing them, and that's not even considering how many drops you can possibly get. So there's that. But compared to that, Wither armor is obviously better. It's not even a question. If I go to like a Wither chestplate or something, the only real requirement is actually right here. Requires the Catacombs Floor 7 completion. The thing is, does not have a combat requirement, and you can use Witherborn. Apparently, you can use Witherborn outside of dungeons, even though you don't have the Catacombs requirement. So I'm pretty sure the Catacombs requirement is only for the extra dungeon stats, and so you can use it in dungeons. So that's good to know. At least that's what all the comments have been telling me. So if you want to just save up for this, then go right ahead. It's going to be way more expensive. Instead of saving like 5, maybe 6 mil at most for a full Crimson set, you're looking at, this one's 11.5 mil just for the chest plate. If I go to the helmet, we're looking at 3 mil, which is not too bad, but that's already like, how much is this? 11.5, you're getting close to 15 mil already. We go to leggings, another 5 mil. We go to boots, another That's really cheap, actually. That's really cheap. Yeah, the Wither armor is not too expensive, but for a mid-game player to make this much money and try to, I guess, make it back, it's gonna take a while. Especially since not only do you have to make good minions, you have to also buy the actual set, and you need a Daedalus Axe. This whole farm literally relies on the Daedalus Axe, so without it, it's not that good. Because the 35 coins per kill is basically what carries AFK farms. Well, unless you're AFKing offline, which people have been saying it's bad, but 2.5 million coins per minion can say otherwise. That's a lot of money in my minions. 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 mil. Yeah, I don't know why people are saying it's bad. All you have to do is log in every day and you should be fine. I'm going to be talking about that next time. So, yeah, is Crimson Armor worth buying? I would say yes, because it's really cheap. All you have to do is get Combat 24, and you can make double the cost. Like, this will cost like 5, maybe 6 mil at most. You can make around 10 to 12 mil a day, at least with this farm. Now, this farm isn't fully optimized, I guess, because I'm still trying to figure out a way to put my redstone outside so I can put another water bucket down, because the slimes die of fall damage, and a good amount die from fall damage too. Let me clear all this out. There we go. Everything here, which is like half of it, will die from fall damage, which is not ideal, but they will die from fall damage, as you can see. Some of them are actually dying from fall damage right now. Yeah, you can see some. But if you can manage to pull this off, you should be making around 10, 12, maybe even more per day, depending on your setup. But if you wanted to go straight to Wither Armor, then go right ahead. I'm not going to stop you. But just know that this is an option. If you want, go ahead, go get Crimson Armor after reaching Combat 24. It's not a bad option. It really isn't. The effect relies basically on Thorns if you want AFK. I'm pretty sure there are other enchantments that can help boost damage. Like, I don't know what Counter-Strike does. What does Counter-Strike do? Bizarre enchantment. This is gonna be a pain. Actually, can I just do this? Counter. Let's just put counter. Okay, that is expensive. Gain plus 10 defense for 7 seconds on the first hit from an enemy. You know, that doesn't sound like a Counter-Strike kind of thing. I was expecting, like, you do more damage after you get hit or something. Okay, never mind. I take that back. Okay. How about all the mana stuff? That sounds interesting. Here we go. Ferocious mana. Gain... Gain 0.1% of mana used. Use near US ferocity for... Oh, that's actually not that bad. But it's not really gonna do anything because it's not what I'm looking for. How about hardened mana? Defense? Okay, sounds about right. Is there anything for attack? Heal. I think ferocity is the one, but that's not what I was looking for. Yeah, it really wasn't what I was looking for. Hardened mana, that's defense. This is for attack. Alright, ferocity it is, but it's not really gonna help much for AFK. So, if you want, just put thorns, have bank. It's really cheap. Thorns is basically for free because enchantment table exists. And yeah, I'd say it's worth it. That's just my personal opinion, though. I know people in this game have tons of different opinions. A good example would literally be the offline AFK situation where people say it's garbage now, the corrupt soil being bad, even though I'm still using it, and 2.5 mil coins per minion. And I have 37 mil here, 36 mil here, and in my bank, we have almost maxed out. So I wouldn't say it's bad. I'd say it's pretty good. So I'll end it here. Let me know what you think. And if you think about using Crimson Armor, let me know how it turns out. Because I'll be honest, this armor is not too bad. The only problem is, compared to Wither Armor, it basically doesn't even compare. But it's a really cheap alternative. Like, really cheap. So, if you want a cheaper alternative that won't make you as much money, but can still make you a decent amount of money, then here you go. This thing kills pretty fast too. So I'll end it here. Next time, I'll go over offline AFKing because people have been saying it's bad for some reason. And yeah, we'll see you there.